Hi everyone, in today's lesson you will learn what is meant by probability and you will learn how to calculate the probability of an event occurring. You should be able to do this by the end of the lesson. Okay, so what is probability? The probability of something happening is the chance or likelihood of it occurring. For example, the probability that if today is Wednesday then tomorrow is Sunday is impossible. The probability that if I toss a coin I will get heads is an even chance. So let's have a look at some of these. If today is Tuesday, yesterday was Monday. So what is the probability of that? Well, that is certain. If I pick a card from a pack, it will be black. Well, in a pack of cards, half of the cards are black, half of them are red. So that is an even 50-50 chance. I will win the Euro Millions next week. Well, as long as you've put on a ticket, there is an unlikely chance you will win it, but there is still a small chance. It will rain at least 20 days in December. Well, that is probably very likely in Scotland. I will have a birthday this year. Well, that is certain. Everyone has a birthday throughout the year, unless your birthday is the 29th of February. If I choose a sweet from a bag containing only yellow sweets, it will be red. Well, that is impossible because there's no red sweets in the bag. So let's look at how we calculate probability as a fraction. The probability of an event happening simply means what fraction of the time will this event happen. How we calculate this is on the top of the fraction we have the number of times it can happen, and on the bottom of the fraction we have the number of possible outcomes, and this will make more sense when we look at this in examples. So dice are marked 1 to 6. If you choose a number from the die then roll it, there is an equal chance of rolling each number, okay? So it is the same chance you will roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. We say that there is a 1 in 6 chance of rolling any number on the dice. So the probability of rolling a 6 is 1 over 6. 1 in 6 chance. Sarah tosses a £2 coin in the air. What is the probability that it will land showing a tail? So our notation for writing the probability of tail is P, which stands for probability, and then in brackets we put tail because that is our favoured outcome, that is what we want to happen. Now, on the bottom of a fraction, it is the number of possible outcomes. So when you toss a coin, what is the possible outcomes? Well, it can either land on a tail or a head, so there is 2 different outcomes. So on the bottom of the fraction is a 2. How many of those outcomes do we want to happen if we only want a tail? Well, we only want 1, so the 1 goes on the top. So the probability of tossing a coin and it showing a tail is 1 over 2. In example 2, Willis is playing rock, paper, scissors. What is the probability that he will choose rock on his next turn? So using our correct notation, P for probability and in brackets rock because that's what we want to happen. And first of all, we're thinking about how many possible outcomes is there. Well, he would either choose rock, paper or scissors, so that's 3 different outcomes, so 3 goes on the bottom of the fraction. How many of these outcomes do we want to happen if we want rock? Well, only 1, so the probability is 1 in 3. In example 3, there are 3 pink marbles and 1 blue marble in a jar. What is the probability that on your first pick you choose the blue marble? So P for probability and in brackets blue. So if there's 3 marbles and 1 blue marble, there is 4 different marbles that you could possibly pick out of that jar. So the number of possible outcomes is 4. If we only want a blue marble, we only want 1 of those because there's only 1 blue marble. Therefore, it's a 1 on the top and the probability of picking a blue is 1 over 4. Okay, in example 4, a fruit bowl contains 4 apples, 6 oranges and 2 bananas. If Jenna asks her mum to pass her a piece of fruit, what is the probability that she will be handed A, an apple? Okay, so let's start with this, the probability of an apple. So first of all, what are the number of possible outcomes in this fruit bowl? Well, there's 4 apples, plus 6 oranges plus 2 bananas. So that gives me 12 different pieces of fruit altogether that Jenna's mum could pick from. So the number of possible outcomes is 12. Now, if she wants an apple, there are 4 different apples in there that she could pick from. Therefore, the number of outcomes that we would like to happen is 4. Now, you should always leave your fraction in its simplest form. The top and bottom of this fraction can be divided by 4, which would give me 1 over 3 as my probability that Gemma will be handed an apple. In part B, it asks for an orange. So the probability of an orange then, well, it's still the same fruit ball, and we're assuming that the apple is put back in. So no apples have been removed. There's still 12 outcomes. The 6 of these are oranges, so we would take any 6 of those. And again, leaving it as a fraction in its simplest form, divide the top and the bottom by 6, and that will get me 1 over 2. In C, it's the probability of a banana. Again, there are still 12 pieces of fruit, so it's still out of 12. How many bananas are there? Well, there are 2. Simplifying this, we divide the top and the bottom by 2, which is 1 over 6. Lastly, what is the probability of a pear? Well, there are no pears in the fruit bowl, so the probability of a pear being picked is absolutely 0.